After that 14th, 15th hour, some amazing things happen to your body. You talk about increasing your testosterone? Try fasting 16 to 18 hours. Use a smaller eating window. There's a video.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to episode 166 of the SuperSetYourLife.com podcast. This is still your weekly dose of entertainment, education, and inspiration to fuel your life inside and beyond the gym. Today, we've got the one and only competition prep coach that I have ever had, Alfred Raoof. Alfred is a bodybuilding contest prep coach. Obviously, he's a gym owner and a natural bodybuilding show promoter. Lately, Alfred's been focusing on real estate, investing, and requalifying for his IPE Pro card, having placed third at IPE Worlds previously. He's hungry and optimistic about re-earning that title. We are going to dive into his training, his meal plan, and most importantly, lifestyle practices like the ones that we've been passionately teaching on this show and our new show, Carnivore Coach's Corner. That is our new podcast if you haven't checked that one out yet. Alfred and his wife Clem coached me through 4 natural bodybuilding competitions, and their teachings are where our health-first approach to competitive bodybuilding began. When I look back on our shows together, the most valuable lessons that I learned from them were primarily holistic, natural, lifestyle-focused rituals such as the value of prayer and meditation, grounding, deep breathing, and other biohacks, rest, recovery, and pacing yourself, and involving your family and making contest prep fun and sustainable for athletes like myself that just never know when to take a break or take a rest day. The prophet Isaiah wrote, "But now, O God, you are our Father. We are the clay and you are our potter. We are all the work of your hand." Isaiah 64:8. This verse was my favorite before and after the shows that Alfred coached me through. Our faith is a foundation to both of our competitive careers. Experiencing God's work in my home paints a beautiful picture of how we should train and nourish our physical bodies, and Clem and Alfred are living examples of this. Coach Alfred, welcome back to the SuperSetYourLife.com podcast.
What's happening, brother Coach?
How you doing, pal? How far out are you? How far out are you from your next show?
I am exactly 14 weeks out from my next show and 18 weeks out from the Worlds event. And that would actually be in the WNBF, not IPE. Because the WNBF,
my bad.
Yeah, no worries. It's going to be here in Washington, in Federal Way.
Wow. Why WNBF and not NPC and excuse me, not IPE?
Well, a lot of the IPE shows are in the Midwest, and as of late, the WNBF is over here on the West Coast. So, not doing as much traveling, as you know. The guests may not know, but we're taking care of a 94-year-old, so it's best to limit the traveling. And the WNBF is here in our area, so that's the bigger natural show organization.
Yeah, so is this the same one that's on, is it on the 18th and 19th of November?
Yes, sir.
That's WNBF Worlds. Okay, because I got like 4 or 5 competitors that are gonna do an NPC natural show 2 weeks earlier, and then they're gonna use that to get their feet wet for this one. But is it INBF or WNBF? Is it both?
So the WNBF is the pro side.
Right.
And I'm just me in my thinking, already thinking pro. So I would say WNBF, but you are correct. You are correct. The amateur side, which I will be competing in October in Marysville, is the INBF, if I'm not mistaken. That's the INBF side. But I'm already thinking WNBF, and hopefully you send somebody to do men's physique. We'll see how that fares, or how they fare if it gets the 52-year-old. I stopped dyeing my hair, so now it's gray. I just let it go. So I'm excited. I'm ready to step back on stage. This pandemic has been phenomenal because, as you said, like the rest, they would call us I hate to say this term, but stage whores. We love being on stage. We love being out there, right? I would compete 6 and 7 times a year. But at this point, with the pandemic, taking 3 years off to actually train and put some size back on, I started leaning out at 206 versus 228 pounds. So I'm 14 weeks out, but I probably look like I'm 8 weeks out. So I got plenty of time to lean out.
You're someone that's always stage ready way ahead of time. And the last show that you coached me through, I think that we reversed from John Nickerson's show 2 months later into the one that you and I both did in Alberta together.
Right.
That was the best way to come into a show, is not having to chomp at the bit to try to get lean enough, but just go, wow, I'm already shredded. Let's just fill up and start getting bigger. Is that kind of what your strategy is coming into these shows?
That would be the plan, to spend. I'll be 6 weeks out after my first show. Actually, it's 5 weeks out after my first show. I'll take a couple of days off, maybe 3-4 days off. And then from there, you want to reverse into the show and fill up. So the goal is to come into the first show around 183 and then fill up to about 186 into the world championships.
And you're how tall?
6 foot.
Okay. Yeah, I got all the way down to 175 this time last year. Definitely cut a little bit too hard, and so I filled out for the last ones, and I was able to place better because this is NPC, so they really reward size quite a bit. Are both these shows WNBF? I'm sorry, did you say, or did you say the first one?
Both are. Yep, same federation.
Same federation. And they're both pro qualifiers, so you got so you got one chance to earn the pro card, and then you're going to use it 4 weeks later.
Right, and I think the way they structured the show, the worlds will be on the amateur side, will be on Saturday, so you could win your pro card on Saturday and possibly compete as a pro on Sunday.
Oh, geez.
So, but in October, I don't want to sound too arrogant, but good luck beating me in October. I should be a pro in October.
Yeah, no, dude. I was just gonna tell you. I was like, okay, do I have anybody doing men's physique? No. And if I did, I would tell them to just switch to men's physique, classic physique or bodybuilding or something, so you have a chance of winning a pro card too, and everyone's happy. Because I don't want to have one of my guys up against you, dude.
Yeah, but we'll see. You never know how these preps go, but I'm feeling really, really good right about now.
Yeah.
Really well, my coach did something crazy, right? So I'm 6 weeks into my prep, and he added 54 grams of carbs, and I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't we be taking away? And I dropped 2 pounds in 2 days, so it acted as if it was a refeed. And I told this guy, I said, man, Jay, I don't know how you know to do this. But what he said was, this comes from me coaching you for almost 10 years. So the consistency of using the same coach is very, very important. You get these guys who will go from coach to coach to coach every year. No, they don't have a chance to learn your body. It takes time. It took him about 6 years to learn my body. But now, no matter what he does, as crazy as it may sound, it works. And he says, Alfred, I know your body better than I know my own. So there has something to do with, just be consistent. If there was any message, is not just the consistency in your meal plan, but consistency with the coach, right? You want to keep the same coach for a number of years and set your eyes, depending on your physique, set your eyes on your pro card if that's something you desire, 5 to 6 years down the road. So you actually acquire it. And when you do acquire it, you can be competitive on the next level. Anyone can get a pro card. But unfortunately, what happens is some people acquire that pro card, they go out and they compete as a pro, and they just get destroyed because they don't have a really good foundation. So I don't know why that came up, but it did.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with having the same coach too, instead of bouncing around from coach to coach. And like when someone comes to me and is like, hey, this is my physique goal, and I need to get from point A to point B. This is how much I weigh, blah blah blah. My last coach, blah blah, 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 and the coach before that, blah blah blah. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm about to be one on a list of like 10. Like,
Right.
why did it not work out with your previous coaches, right?
Yeah.
Proverbs 15:22 also says that plans fail when there is no counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. And so I believe there's also a lot of value in seeing what multiple coaches have to say. Like, oh, well, what's his nutrition approach? What's his nutrition approach? I mean, I have to give you all the credit really for helping me out of my eating disorder, man, and for helping me to stop the binging and purging, all the craziness from the standard American diet, from if it fits your macros, and thinking, wow, yeah, no, you can have anything you want in moderation, but just make sure it's in moderation. Okay, bro, way easier said than done. It's hard to eat sugar in moderation, man. I don't know a lot of people that can do it. For me, better just to forget that it even exists.
That's what's best for me as well. I mean, I go through my seasons. After my competitions, I might do a couple of months where I do have some cookies and whatnot, but I have to completely cut that stuff out at a certain point. And I was fortunate enough, again, after like this is 10 years of competing, this is the first time I've come in at 206. So I've not only has Justin learned my body, but he's helped me to learn my body, and I know what eating style to use in order for me to keep my weight and my physique under control. So it's more of a, I do eat carbs. I'm not on the Milton plan where there's no carbs. I eat carbs 4 days a week, but then 2 to 3 days a week I do more of your style of eating, which is for me is carb cycling. My body actually functions very well on carbohydrates. Like I said, he increased my carbs and I dropped 2 pounds. But again, you got to remember everyone's body is different. Not everyone can do that. My body actually craves carbs, and I have clients whose bodies they crave meat. So that's what they consume. And to your point, when you say, in mini counsel, a lot of people don't understand this. In hiring a coach, you want a coach who has a network, right? So you have me, but I also have you, and I have Justin, but Justin has me, who also has you, who also had Matt. Unfortunately, Matt's no longer with us. But as a collective, if I run into somebody who is craving meat, then I come to Cole. If I need somebody who's doing more of a carb cycling thing, I go to Justin, and we collaborate amongst each other as a network to get our clients to best plan.
Yeah.
So if your coach doesn't have a network, you got to really, athletes, they need to interview their coaches and look at their mindset and what they think. Do they think that just my way is the highway? Or are they more or less, let's find out what works for you. Of course, we're naturally going to steer them toward what works for us, because that's what works for us. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to work for them, which is why we need time.
And if they come to you, they typically have an idea of your coaching style too already. It's like people come to me expecting me to say, okay, no carbs, this is what you're eating, because that's what I do and that's what I live. But a lot of people just aren't ready for that. And so, yeah, coming back to your point again, it's like when I have someone that wants to go meat based, but they're not really ready to go cold turkey yet and stop eating anything that's not meat based. A lot of times we just need to come to a compromise halfway and go, okay, let me put myself in your shoes. Yeah, I mean, saying no to this, to like Carly, for example, she's one of our recent competitors that we just put through a show. We switched her to being meat based for the last 2 weeks of her prep, and she was miserable. But her body was not responding to. But her body was just flat out not responding to having carbs in her diet. And so when we pulled them out, then we broke past that plateau, and she was able to get she was able to get shredded, and she was able to look better than she did at the previous show. But but for someone that's been eating oatmeal every single day for breakfast their entire life, and then you change that 2 weeks out, yeah, I mean, psychologically it really backfired, and that's where she and I both just had a conversation. I was like, look, do you want to win this show, and do you want to look your best, and do you want to beat the physique that you had, or do you want to keep eating oatmeal up through your show? And she was like, you know what, heck with the oatmeal, I can do this. And she was miserable for about 2 weeks, and now she's eating her oatmeal again. She's super happy, and she can look back on those pictures, and she's like, great, I finished what I started.
Right on. You know, sometimes your body needs that shock, and it sounded like that's what she needed. Right? Pull it out. You know, and trust the coach. Right? They hired us for a reason, so trust the coach. And even if it didn't work, well, now we know for the next show. Right? It's not a one trick pony. This is something that we're looking at, and over time, right? Once you've been coaching this person for 8, 9, 10 years, you'll have all that figured out, right? Because my thing changes for the last 2 weeks. Everything changes. It's not what you think, right? It just depends on how your body is responding. And as I get older, things change. Right? I'm 52. I'm not 37. I'm not 25. So, you know, there are some, we call them tricks that you have to do in order to get the body to respond if you want to look a certain way. And that conversation you have with her is key. We're not going to force you to do anything. Do you want to alter your physique, or would you rather just eat the oatmeal? You choose, and then we run with the play. Yeah. Completely up to them.
Yep. Yeah, you have to be empathetic. And sometimes it's hard to be empathetic because I don't even like oatmeal. I'm like, of all things, oatmeal? Really? Okay, whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
And me, I'm the person who grew up eating oatmeal every single day for breakfast. So I eat oatmeal. That's my post-workout meal, and that's the first meal I eat per day.
Yeah. Okay. This is exactly where I wanted to go anyway. So what does a typical day of eating look like for you right now?
Right now, on my workout days, I'm at 333 grams of carbs from about 280 to 333. I'm fired up about that. So what I did is last year, this was total experiment, right? I went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. I didn't want to be cooking rice and potatoes, so all I did was eat fruit. And I said, Coach, let's load my diet up with fruit this time around. So I have my first meal is oats with blueberries. Then I get a banana and a little over a pound of watermelon. Yes, I fit the stereotype. I love chicken and watermelon. I care less about what nobody says.
I didn't even think stereotype.
That's just me, man. That's just me. And then he had put cheese in my diet, but I mixed coconut milk, some tofu. I have Swiss chard and kale growing in the backyard, and tomatoes. I mix all that together with a little bit of patis, some fish sauce. And then I have 350 grams of rice, white rice. That's a pre-workout. And then I have 300 grams of sweet potatoes. And then that's where I have my chicken with the sweet potatoes. And then
you do a sweet potato pre-workout or post-workout?
I load up. I try to eat most of my carbs before I work out. So all my meals are done before I work out.
Right on. Yeah. So our Coach Mark from Ireland, that's how he does it too. So the carbs are always pre-workout to the point to where when you're done with your workout, your glycogen stores are pretty much empty at that point. You don't have to worry about your insulin or anything by then because you burned it all off.
Yeah. And then I hit my workout. I have my protein shake with my kale and Swiss chard. I load up the blender again with that and a little bit of blueberries. And that's it.
Yeah. Except for the kale, otherwise yum. So 300.
Drink it. Drink it. Don't eat
it. Yeah. What do your Colt Milton days look like on your three off days? So you're training.
Oh man. So today is that off day, right?
Okay.
I get 24 chicken wings. Like I said, I like chicken, but I don't get the watermelon on this day, right? And I have a half a pound of beef, so a double patty burger. And then I use the keto,
How much fat? Is it lean? Is it fatty?
85%.
85%. Have you ever had
85% lean, 15% fat.
you ever had 73-27?
I have.
Bro, it is so good. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? You're just like
Yeah,
eating fat, but it's meat.
I have. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. These are lovely days.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I have a 15 carbs in the keto bun from Fran's. So I make a double burger with that. And or I make it into an enchilada. I could take the beef and make it into an enchilada. I have these they're Mr. Tortillas that are 3 grams of carbs each. So I put 5 of those in there. But that's pretty much it. And it's a lovely day. And today is that day. I'm still fasted after this. I'll probably start eating, but I'm still fasted. And then I do my fasted cardio as well, which is 5 rounds of 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 20 minutes steady state, 5 rounds of 1 minute on, 1 minute off.
Because that's weird because most competitors that I know are on like an hour plus of steady state every single day at this point in their prep. And so when I say weird, I mean that as a compliment because I just know way too many people that are doing sometimes 2 and 3 hours a day of cardio. And I don't like to talk about calories because when you switch from one way of eating to another way of eating, but just calories do not add up whatsoever. But I've seen calories as low as 800 or 900 and 2 or 3 hours of cardio a day, and like just the math does not even make sense.
Yeah, no. If I had to do 3 hours of cardio, I'm not competing.
That's not worth it.
Nah, I got better things to do with my life.
Yeah,
I really love making money, so it'd be really hard for me to do my crypto stuff doing 3 hours of cardio. No.
yeah.
I'd rather just come in to my prep a little leaner, and yeah, no, I can't do that because when I started my prep, I was doing 12 minutes of cardio, eight rounds of 30 seconds on, 1 minute off. Yeah, nah, I can't do that. That's just me. That's me personally. Some people do. That's what they want to do. That's probably why they don't compete very long because it's not family friendly. My wife see me on that stair mill in the garage for 3 hours. She'd be like, I might have to find another dude.
You might get off 3 hours later and she's not there anymore.
Yeah. And then you ain't got no time for the nightlife, right?
Yeah. Or energy for the nightlife, man.
Right.
On the days where it's like I almost look back at my preps and I'm like, okay, why was my sex drive in the toilet? Was it in the toilet because my dietary fat was so low? I mean, I'm eating 300 grams of fat a day right now still, so ever since I realized how important dietary fat is for that aspect of your life, I made a decision to never drop it too low because I just hate feeling like that. But I almost wonder back on some of on the shows really before I started working with you, where I was just doing insane amounts of cardio, if it was really because of low testosterone or if it was because I'm just beat after doing 2 hours on the stair mill trying to get lean enough and really just out training a bad diet at the time.
Yeah, could have been. I don't know. I'm glad you're not doing that anymore.
Oh, my man. Yeah, my cardio lately, you'd be proud of me. It's basically it's nothing on my training days. Like if I feel like doing it, I'll do some sprints afterwards, or maybe like some bike sprints with the kids and the dog or something. And then on off days, now for the first time in months, I'm actually starting to reintroduce a little bit of cardio. I'm guest posing in in less than 2 weeks now. At the Open Natural, Hyro Chang is promoting it. So it's real nice not having to have like glute striations or be completely shredded. But I still want to be lean and do a good job. And I feel like I'm there. So just started reintroducing a little bit of cardio. Nothing crazy. So your macros on your training days are 300 grams of carbs. What about
330
in your fat?
It's 330 carbs.
330.
Protein is 204. And fat is 53.
53. Right on. And then recovery days?
170 grams of fat and 200, I think it's 260 protein. And then the carbs are 28.
And that's total carbs, not net carbs, right?
That's total. Yeah, my coach don't play the net carb thing. He said carbs are carbs.
Exactly. I cannot stand the net
He's like,
carb.
nah, we ain't doing net carbs, bro. Carbs are carbs. Now, trace carbs are different from kale and whatnot. That doesn't count, but the other carbs, they count.
Right. So you're training 4 days a week?
5 days. Another thing that's
5
interesting
days, 2 rest days, right on.
is that this prep, he cut my training, my actual lifting back 25%, and I'm still seeing crazy results.
Oh yeah. You'll see better results. This is something. That's what Coach Mark and Jonathan have been drilling into me, is that when you're on prep, you don't need to get carried away with the volume, and that's where Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. Man, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'll always love Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I don't care if he's gone crazy or whatever lately. But hey, that book that put the dream out there. You know what I mean? And that's what got me into bodybuilding in the first place. But something that really backfired was the part where he talks about his endomorphs. I'm an endomorph, right? So as endomorphs, if on contest prep, he used to recommend doing extra sets and doing more volume than you would normally do to burn extra energy instead of doing cardio and instead of letting your diet do the work. Today, my advice is the complete opposite, and to say that if you're on contest prep, your diet does everything. And then you use cardio only when you need it, with the understanding that it's going to be temporary, and that that you're going to have to taper out of that. And that's another entire conversation. But that extra training volume, why would you do that? You've already built the muscle, and you just need to hold on to it. And now you're eating less food, so you don't have the ability to recover from it. And you wonder why you can't stick to your diet when you do that. My sugar cravings are through the roof if my volume gets out of control. And I don't even eat sugar, but I crave it if my volume gets too high. But if I keep my workouts under 20 working sets per workout, which has been a challenge, but lately I've gotten a lot better about it, that lower volume is really, really key when you're cutting. You have to train less.
Right.
And
I'm finding that out. I'm finding that out now, just from me training my entire life. I just felt like I needed to do more. It doesn't feel like I'm working out if I'm not doing more.
I know, it's because we're hard workers. It's just how we're wired. We feel like if we're not lifting weights that we look like crap.
Yeah, but we cut it back. And the good thing is, if I'm spending less time in the gym and I'm getting better results, then why be there? You don't need to do all those extra sets. So, and what he said is, hey, if need be, later on down the road, we could possibly add some back instead of adding, but more than likely we probably won't have to do that, which is phenomenal. I'm enjoying doing less and eating more and looking better.
Yeah. I was out training a bad diet, this up until you and I started working together. And I love how you how you put me on carb cycling, actually, because carb cycling worked way better than anything I had tried before, especially those keto days. And I think that's what really opened up that can of worms. And when you told me, Colt, you're training 7 days a week, when's the last time you had a rest day? And I was like, I don't know. It's probably been over a year since I've literally taken a day and not lifted weights. So that's what I would call severely chronically overtraining, right? So taking that day out, I was nervous about doing it because I didn't want to have a day where I wasn't eating carbs. I wanted to be eating carbs every single day. And then when you told me, hey, these keto days are a lot of fun, these are some of my favorite days, especially on peak week. It's just, you get to eat all the fatty meats you want. I was like, wow, that sounds amazing. And then I just started to like those days better. and then I was like, I wonder if I can keep training without carbs. I'm just liking this more and more. And then that's kind of where it took off. And you know, just and being an eliminator rather than a moderator too, I think that was just a good move to cut carbs altogether. But on your but on those keto days that you have, those are great, aren't they? I don't know what else.
Phenomenal, and it gives me the variety that my body desires. It's
Yeah.
giving me, you're not doing the same thing over and over. If and honestly, if you're training for a show or just in general life, if you're not lifting weights, you really don't need the carbs. You don't. And when you do reintroduce the carbs, it acts as a small refeed, and you get a little spark. But also in doing that, you're able to discover, just as you have, that maybe I can do this a little more often, or maybe my body needs it more. You want to try a variety of different things to find out what works best for your body. Where all of us, our bodies are different, and you stumbled across something that is that's working well for you. You look phenomenal.
Thanks.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Stick with it. You probably did diet down a little hard about a year ago, but right now, man, you're looking fantastic, and you feel good. You got good energy. You know, not overeating.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. People got to understand, man. You got to give your digestive tract a break. I love when I saw that you're eating once or twice a day. That's letting your body recover, letting that digest. Just give it a break. And if you feel like you need to eat additional meal, eat it. Don't feel guilty about it, because your body is telling you, "Hey, I need to eat." But if you don't feel hungry, if you don't eat.
Yeah. What was what's your rule that you teach all your competitors? It's late at night, it's midnight, and you've eaten all your food and you're hungry. Crap. Now what? What do you do?
Go grab some protein, man.
Go grab some protein. I've been doing that ever since you told me that, and it never backfires, man.
You're not going to get fat from eating protein.
Right.
Don't starve your body. If you wake up, and actually, if you're getting hungry in the middle of the night, that means you're doing your prep right.
Yeah,
exactly.
You get to a point where you should be hungry, and you kind of have to wear it as a badge of honor.
Yeah, your body is cooking. This is a good thing. You're don't muscle. I gotta get through it into the. No, man, go eat and tell your coach so they can make the adjustments.
Yeah,
tell your coach. That probably means you need more food.
Yeah,
which is going to heat up your body, and you're going to burn more fat.
Yep, 100%. On your training, do you keep the same split up all the way up through a show, or do you get to a point to where you have to go from like a bro split, or how most bodybuilders like to train, to doing full body workouts?
Me personally, I never do a full body workout, because I like to pound. This is just me. I love pounding one muscle group with a very short rest period to put as much blood in there as I can and stretch that muscle belly out as much as I can. I don't like bouncing around. So I smash chest, shoulders, and triceps, which is that's a big workout. Some would consider that overtraining, because you're hitting those triceps a lot and the shoulders. But I do back and biceps. I do all my pulls, and then legs, man. That's all I can do on leg day is legs. Now, something that I've really gravitated toward.
And just for our listeners, I know what everybody's thinking, because you're a men's physique athlete. Hey, Alfred has great legs and he trains them. Okay, everybody.
Hey, you know what I tell myself? My testosterone is in my legs. That's half of my body. You gotta smash the legs, or you're just gonna make it harder to burn fat if you don't. And who wants to walk around with chicken legs? I mean, that's your foundation.
Yeah,
got to do that.
Yep.
Right on.
Okay, so you stick to pretty much just a push pull leg split then, huh?
Yep, push pull, leg split, and if I'm tired, I don't train.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I got 2 days off. It doesn't matter when I take them. Like last week, I had legs on Thursday and I was tired, and I definitely don't want to train legs tired. So what I did is I went to sleep, and as soon as I get up, usually if I go to bed earlier, I'll wake up at like 6, then I'll do my legs, Those carbs are still sitting in there. I'll exhaust those carbs. And then later on at night, maybe midnight, I try to give myself, 12 to 18 hours in between workouts. Then I'll do my pulls, my back and biceps. But I don't train tired because I won't perform well. And if you're tired, your body is telling you need to rest, so you should rest. That rest and recovery is, I think that's something huge for both of us that we started taking advantage of, because that's when you grow in your sleep. You're not, or while you're at rest, you're not growing while you're training. You're actually growing at rest.
Right. Yep. 100%. You introduced me to Metabolic Nutrition's creatine glycerol phosphate. So I've taken it before, after, and even the day of the show ever since, and only recently eliminated creatine for my personal supplementation due to my recent switch to a modified lion diet. So creatine's kind of overkill because I'm just getting so much red meat at this point. But since then I reached out to the company and got most of their catalog on our website, Metabolic Nutrition. We've been so happy with them ever since we started. We just placed a new stock PO that should be coming in any day, actually. They were generous enough to sponsor me at the NPC Northern Classic last year. That's the one where I was 175 pounds. And just to touch back on that one too, I know I over dieted for it, but that was the goal. I wanted to be the leanest person on stage. I was like, man, they're not testing for nothing. So the best chance I got as a natural athlete is just out shredding everybody, and I freaking did it. But I don't know. I've had people tell me that my physique is better, fuller, and not looking, peeled as a bone. It doesn't hurt to sit on church pews anymore. Anyway. So creatine glycerol phosphate. Why do you prefer this over creatine monohydrate?
From what I understand is you're going to hold less water with it between the skin. Dan Garcia actually introduced me to.
Dude, I was just talking to Dan. He's coming to our posing class this weekend.
Yeah, so talk to him about that. But I think that's what he was talking to me about, how the different ways in which you hold water. I took creatine a few times. I took it that time. For me, back when I was taking it, when I was my 24-hour fitness days, when I was younger, it made me so freaking strong. It was insane. Like I hit 415 on the bench press for 3 reps. And I'm not a really big dude. I'm only, that was at like 205. I'm just smashing that. At this point, if I lift that heavy at 52, I'll be 52 on August 20th. It's just too much on my joints. So it's really counterproductive. I'm more of a high volume guy. I tell folks, man, all of this is for show. It's not, don't call me to help you move no furniture.
That's what I tell everybody. I train for aesthetics, bro. Someone breaks in my house, I'm not going to fight him. I got a most muscular pose, like if I'm feeling pumped. Other than that, I'll shoot him.
That or take one of them swords behind your wall.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, dude. Oh, this one? That's from your show.
Hey. All right.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. First trophy I ever got from your show.
Right on.
Yeah. Right on. That's why it's there, actually.
Yeah. Right on. Those look like some Columbia Classic plaques back there too.
Yeah. These are from Katie's shows. Those are both best posers.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the award I always want.
That's what I wanted too. Exactly. I'm like, I don't care who gets first. I want to be the best poser.
Yeah, I just want to be up there inspiring people, putting on a good show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad the NPC never rewards it either, too. So maybe I should go back to WNBF or INBF.
Come on home, brother.
I know, man. You introduced me to Celtic sea salt. Why are you a fan of this over pink Himalayan salt?
To my understanding, the minerals within that are just phenomenal. What do you have, like 86 of the 90 whatever minerals you need, or is it 103? I forget exactly how many, but the minerals in there are phenomenal. And what a lot of people one thing they underestimate is that watermelon thing. Again, we say watermelon, the shell is that's the water bottle. Watermelon is like the perfect water. So for my aunt, going back to her, she has a problem with drinking water. So I give her a big bowl of watermelon which is like 96% water. And then I sprinkle a little bit of Celtic salt on there to help her with absorbing that and holding that in and getting her minerals. And her last visit to the doctor, we know she's having a problem with hydration because it gets hot and she doesn't really drink that much water. We tried it; she can only eat so much watermelon, but they said her electrolytes are off the charts, and I honestly think it's because of the watermelon and the Celtic sea salt.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, because it's not stripped of all the rest of its nutrients. It also has a little bit lower sodium because it's a fresh, naturally sourced sea salt. So anybody that is concerned about their sodium levels, you're usually safe with it. And I just remember you telling me, yeah, no, put it on everything. Don't even measure. Don't even track it. And I was confused because every other bodybuilding coach was saying cut sodium, reduce sodium, and like backstage, okay, sodium blah blah, sodium blah blah blah, and you had always just taught me, just put salt on your food as you crave it, and if salt sounds good, great, put it on your food. If it doesn't, then you're probably good on sodium, and that's just what I've been doing ever since. Except for when I do get close to a show, then excuse me, I'm still using quite a bit of sodium. I don't cut it like everybody else does, but that's when I try to keep it exactly the same if I am competing, and then I just bump it up a little bit when I refeed. But other than that, I just kind of teach it that the more the better. Yeah.
I never measure it, but that makes sense to measure so you keep it consistent at the end. So maybe that's the tip I get from this. Maybe I will.
Maybe that's what you need. Yeah, dude. I freaking love to show you how to do it.
Hey man, pulling water and rehydrating is key. That last 2 weeks. A lot of people quit before the last 2 weeks too, but the last 2 weeks is when you see the biggest changes. So trust the coach.
Absolutely. Before I forget too, on the watermelon and the salt on the watermelon, do you know what? So you're familiar with Redmond real salt, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually the only salt company, sea salt company that I'm aware of that's bigger than Celtic sea salt. I prefer Celtic sea salt because it has quite a bit more nutritional value to it, but I would put Redmond as a close second. Let me put it this way: I sell both off my website, and people come to me saying, "Hey, I want Redmond real salt," and I'm like, all right, am I going to be a businessman, or am I going to be a responsible man? Obviously, I'm going to be a responsible man. Okay, dude. So you'll be way better off with Celtic sea salt, and I'm going to make half the money selling you this because I got like no profit margin in it. But here's why it's better. But Redmond's very, very good. It's sourced out of Utah, and it's a pink Himalayan style salt. Like it's sourced the same way that pink Himalayan salt is, even though it's not from the other side of the planet. But they have a very, very good electrolyte supplement called Re-Lyte, and I can't remember what flavor Taylor was using. I think she was using the watermelon flavor, the watermelon lime flavor. Electrolyte supplement. It's got a great source of potassium in it too. And it's sweetened with stevia. Oh yeah, dude. No, you would love this product. And she was putting it on the watermelon and eating the watermelon. The kids love it. She loves it. And I had a bite, dude, and it was freaking bomb. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really good. So maybe try that with your aunt.
I gotta try that. I gotta try it.
Love it. Yeah. Biohacks. What are some of your favorite holistic biohacks? You had to pick like 3.
Grounding, following your circadian rhythm, and fasting. So, and this is what a lot of people might not pay attention to this. So when the sun comes up, there's certain light rays that you want to absorb into your eyes. So we should, in the perfect world, watch the sun rise. I just so happen to be the person who gets up when the sun rises to pray. I didn't know this until my wife actually, she told me that when I started studying the circadian rhythm, but you should watch the sunrise. We actually absorb our vitamin D through our eyes, and that happens between like 11 and 12. So it's really good to do it at that time. Also, when the sun sets is right around when we should have our last meal in the perfect world, right? But again, not to contradict, if you get hungry in the middle of the night, eat, you need to do that, make adjustments so that that doesn't happen. And then when the sun is actually completely set and it's dark, that's when we should actually go to sleep. And we should sleep until the sun begins to rise again. Those people with insomnia might have too much screen time, right? So that's something we got to work on, that holistic side. Fasting, very, very important. You know, after that 14th, 15th hour, some amazing things happen to your body. You talk about increasing your testosterone, try fasting 16 to 18 hours. Use a smaller eating window. There's a video by Chris Hemsworth, Thor, called Limitless, or a program that's on Disney, and he does one on fasting. That is an excellent, excellent video to watch. Once a year, we should do a 3 to 4 day fast where you just drink water. Yes, you can go 2 to 3 months without any food and live, but you can only go 1 week without water. So you want to make sure that you drink your water. Actually follow the video. You need to be monitored if you're going to do an extended fast like that. So fasting is very important. And in regards to inflammation, yes, grounding is key. 20 minutes a day. Your bare feet should be on some type of grass. The grass here at my house, we don't put any chemicals on it. I handpick the weeds. I want to make sure that the grass that I'm putting my feet on is not toxic, right? So I'm getting my sunlight at 11. So prior to this call, I was out gardening, and I'm putting my feet down on the ground. In the winter, it does get cold here, but sometimes I just take a jacket and go outside and put those feet on the ground, even if it's just for 5 minutes, just to get some grounding. So as far as biohacks, those are the three that I think, those are the top three that come to mind.
Yeah, that's amazing what you said about the circadian rhythms, and wow. Okay, so watching the sun rise and watching the sun set, that makes sense. How that's better for your circadian rhythms. And I know that getting grounded and getting some sunlight first thing in the morning is key for your energy levels throughout the rest of the day. Oh, speaking of which, caffeine. Are you consuming caffeine currently?
Not a lot, but I do. I did today. Yeah, a couple of days a week. My wife has some really clean coffee from the Philippines that they soak in hazelnut. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I try to watch it because I don't want to dehydrate my body too much.
That and it takes away from the muscle pump in the gym and your blood flow, doesn't it?
It does. You do not want to have caffeine 2 to 3 hours before you work out. Totally counterproductive. You doing a pre-workout with caffeine in it, that's straight marketing. Yes, you're going to feel amped up, but you're restricting the blood flow. Total opposite of what you want to do in the gym. If you're taking a pre-workout, it should not have caffeine in it.
Should not have caffeine. 100% agree. What are you? We got about 3 minutes left. What are you working on outside of fitness these days?
Outside of fitness, really is cryptocurrency, man. There's a big wave coming. The world is shifting. We are fortunate. This is the first time in 100 years that over 100 years, the entire economic system is moving, and it's all moving in one direction, which is digital. So me personally, I'm doing everything I can to get in front of that and earn cryptocurrency. So outside of fitness is cryptocurrency and taking care of auntie. And then as we discussed prior to this, obviously I got to take care of my wife. So we're doing something this weekend, a staycation in Whidbey Island. And then I'm planning a trip next month to get her out of the house and getting care for auntie so we can spend some time together in a different country.
Oh, that's beautiful, and that's perfect timing because I was planning on scheduling this one to publish on Saturday because every Saturday morning we have a new episode. So she won't even so this won't even blow the surprise. I don't even have to edit that out. Wonderful. How is competing in the sport of bodybuilding made you a better businessman?
You know, you got to do what's right for the people. It can't be about the money, and that has helped me in business as well as the consistency, right? To be successful in business, you have to be consistent through the highs and the lows. Same thing with your prep. Some weeks you're going to drop 2 pounds. Some weeks you're going to gain a half a pound. It's all about the averages and understanding you got to enjoy the journey, right? And that's why you give yourself time. Same thing in business. Most businesses fail in the first 3 years. Well, that's because people quit, right? And then you also got to know when to quit. You don't want to do the whole insanity thing. If you're just milking your bank account, maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
You made a podcast, a very good podcast, a couple of years ago on that topic, knowing when to quit. You and Clem both. That was a very, very good one.
Yeah, there's times when you just got to, and we had to close our gym. I do training on a very small scale now because it is a passion of mine.
Yeah.
Make the bulk of my money in cryptocurrency, but you got to know when to quit. The landlord wants you to pay full lease, and we're in a pandemic. We can't operate. You got to quit. You can't just be pumping out lease money and you're not training anybody. So,
but that was heartbreaking.
Oh man, it was a lot of crying, a lot of nights just, because not just for us, but the clients. We've been training these people for 10, 15 years, and then now what are they going to do? And they have nowhere to go. We let them down, but we have to also think about our livelihood as well.
100%. Speaking of livelihood, last thing, and where you live, I wanted to touch on this a couple minutes ago. I know we're a little over time, but you do everything at home now, huh? You live from home, work from home, train your clients from home, everything.
Right. Everything is done at the house, and that's why got to get my wife out on some type of vacation because it wears on us. It's a blessing to be able to be home and take care of the elderly folks. I've positioned myself to be able to do so and still thrive. But everything is from the house. We do everything we do is from the house. So
it's the best way to live, man. Yeah, especially with kids. We do get cabin fever though, and so Sunday morning when it's time to go to church, is woohoo! Field trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor and we're about to celebrate 10 years, so we're gonna go to Yellowstone National Park for that.
Yeah, we're going on September 25, bro.
September 25th. That's your anniversary?
No, September 5th is 25 years.
Oh, September 5th is 25 years. Wow. Yeah. and everybody was saying you guys are mixed races and blah blah blah. You're gonna get divorced, and they're all divorced, and you're still married.
Yeah, man. A lot of people said we wouldn't make it, and most of those people are divorced. It's really, and that's another podcast we did. It just depends. It's the love, right? Love conquers all.
Love conquers all.
And I see it where we don't see ourselves as different. We see ourselves as the same.
Where can people go to find more information on Mr. Alfred Raoof and follow your journey, pal?
I have a YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel and check that out. And I think it's just Alfred Raoof, just YouTube Alfred Raoof, and you'll see it there on the YouTube channel. I was just uploading the video today.
Oh heck yeah! Shoot me a link to it, and I'll put that in the show notes.
All right, sure will. I'll do that, bro. And I appreciate the time together.
It's funny. I appreciate you just calling me out of the blue a week ago and us talking about the idea of recording a podcast, man. Seriously, it's just every time I talk to you, man, it's just I feel like $1 million. I really do.
We'll end it on this. This is something I learned from a good friend of mine, Steve Date. we should strive to contact anyone who is anyone to us at least once or twice a year, even if it's just a simple text to say, hey, how are you doing? And that's what spun us into this.
Yeah.
Right? Never get so busy
that
you don't contact your people. And it could be you never know, it could be at the right time. This person might be at the edge, and to hear something from you, just, hey, how you doing? I did that to Katie Behrens this morning, one of my clients. I said, hey, Katie, how you doing? She goes, that's funny. I was just praying for you yesterday.
How is Katie doing?
Phenomenal.
Good.
Phenomenal.
Good.
Phenomenal.
How's the cop?
So this is not Katie Wayman White. This is Katie Behrens.
I know.
Okay. So you know her.
How's the cop doing? There's a police officer that you had competing the same time as me. How's she
doing? Well. She had her baby.
Good.
We bought a new house, and her and Casey are doing fantastic.
Yeah,
they're doing fantastic. They see. Yeah, you just drop in, send a little text. How you doing? We go see the baby once in the blue moon. So, yeah, they're doing great.
I need to reach out to her. Good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm late for my next meeting. I got to get going, pal. But thanks so much for your time, man. For all your wisdom and for everything. Seriously, dude.
Anytime, good brother.
I love you like
do this again.
A father figure to me, and I just can't thank you enough. I think the world of you. I really do.
I appreciate that, man. And anytime, man, we should do this at least quarterly, not once a year, every two, at least quarterly. We should.
Oh yeah, bro. It's been way too long.
Right on. And I'll see you for sure at the Worlds. I'll see you there.
Absolutely. I'll be there, man.
All right.
With a team, but nobody in men's physique. Now that I know that.
You crazy.
God bless
I'll
you,
check with you later. All right, bro.
Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Taylor. Just want to say thanks so much for listening to the show and read off our podcast review of the week. Our review is from Angela about our last episode with Courtney Luna. Amazing interview, always a good sign to have haters, always a sign you're doing something right. Courtney is a breath of sunshine in the carnivore world on YouTube. My favorite carnivore channel. God bless you. Thanks, Angela, and I totally agree. Go check out Courtney Luna's content on YouTube. And to follow up on my podcast with her, we've been loving the recipes from her ebook. Definitely grab a copy of that if you're new to carnivore, and also be on the lookout for her new carnivore cookbook she is in the works of making right now. Every rating and review helps a ton, so if this episode gave you a better workout, taught you something cool, or made you laugh, please share it with a buddy, and we'll stay on top of keeping this your weekly dose of entertainment, education, and inspiration inside and beyond the gym. Last thing, if you haven't heard about Colt and Mark's new podcast with Jonathan Griffiths, it's called Carnivore Coach's Corner. They collaborate weekly to discuss listener questions, frequently asked questions at their one-on-one consultations, trending topics related to the carnivore diet and hypertrophy training. And if you're a fan of the low-carb lifestyle or just getting into it, you can find them by searching Carnivore Coach's Corner on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Anchor, Overcast, and that is it. Thanks, everybody. God bless, and we're going to catch you on episode 167.